Second to final time we get to do, or for me at least, second to the last time I get to do some voiceover for Astral Chain. We are on the second to last case of this game. It's everyone's favorite, a W case, but it's pretty fun. If anything though, as stated before, this is our second to last case in Astral Chain for file 12. The next episode would be the last case, and this will be like next episode will be like the last time I sit down and do voiceover for this game, until I just want to sit down and do the like a bonus episode for stuff that I missed and some other stuff that are given to you for completing this game. But that's neither here nor there. Right now we're just here to do another W case, and if anything, I did not expect myself to beat this in 2 rounds. First round I got decently far, but Hubert's got the best of me, but the second round I got them all not down packed. I still had some problems, but took my time and had fun with it. And if anything, the only reason why I don't show the first round of my first attempt is because this video is already like 31 minutes base without like the end card. So that's the thing I need to keep an eye out. But before starting off, like this area is where we fight like Noah Prime, like Noah and Noah Prime in general. So this is like a funny thing to see. But in general, how the W cases work is that we just fight a bunch of enemies in a row. All the enemies should be passing by on the scroll text. And if anything, there's only like a couple rounds where I can say that they gave me trouble. But the majority of them did not give me that much trouble. The first round here with the Astral Chain and an Eris is not that bad. The only problem of this group would be just them ganging up on you for a lot of damage. But if you could just stick to your guns, take out the Astral Chain because of their elementals, would be great. Eris, if you want to take out Eris first for it being a stronger enemy with the lasers and a tendency to move around a lot, then that's more fair. But that's round 1 done, not that bad. Deal with the elementals first if you want, but if not, deal with the Eris. This one here with the 3 toads is not that bad either. We've fought the toads for the majority of the game. Zeus is pretty simple to beat. He's the weaker one of the trio. The ice toad goes down next, and then after that it's Poseidon. Pretty easy, not that hard. We've been fighting frogs all day. If you stun them all and do all your damage in one turn, they barely get a chance to move. With the wolves here, with the Fire Wolf, Orthrus, and Nemean, I can kind of see this being a little harder for some people, especially because they move around the screen a lot. Orthrus with its wind is more annoying than the other one. Nemean being an ice type enemy will also be a problem. But if you just stick to what you want to get rid of first or have a blue shield up, you can take care of Orthrus pretty easily. Taking him out so you don't have to deal with the tornadoes. If you also don't want to do that, you can just take out the Nemean, because ice sucks a lot, especially if you get frozen. And in file 12, especially in Platinum Ultimate, getting frozen is almost a death sentence, since you have no way to defend yourselves from being gaggle fucked. Next round here is against 3 flying type enemies, an Occipite, a Fire Falcon, and a Podarge. And this is the round that took me out in my first attempt. Let's just say when I did this, I stunned all 3 of them, but the Podarge was the enemy I wanted to take out first, since it's more nimble than the others and is prone to dodging more than the others. But where I went here was the Fire Falcon first, since fire sucks. But yeah, just having fun with that. Anything, the Occipite having ice also sucks as well, so taking her out would be a good idea as well. And in general, once you get down to the Podarge, it's a simple fight to do. Just keep stunning it with Howl, keep stunning it with Slow Shot. Slow Shot would be your best bet against these flying enemies, since they have like a lot of wind up for their attacks, and if they actually get through, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. But not bad on this front. One other thing I'll just say is that with actually almost coming to the end, I need to sit down and actually try to do the final case. I know it's gonna be a while, not like a long while, but I know for me that case is gonna be hella annoying to deal with. You're gonna see my grind system when we show it off again, but we're almost done with Astral Chain. Like, at least game-wise. Completion-wise, not that much. But next round is just Jenna in her aberrant form and 4 Proto Legions. One with the sword and shield, one with a Gladius, one with claws, and one with arrows. This round, I can say being hard for the sole reason of you not having any enemy to heal off from, because the Proto Legions have pretty like they have middle of the way HP, but if you do knock out a Proto Legion, you don't get you don't get a Dongetsu to recover all your HP back. And in general, the Proto Legion, the Archer one, is more of an annoyance to deal with, since all the pot shots the Arrow one can do, or the Archer one can do, will make it annoying. Once you take out like the 3 close combat ones, you can go do the Archer, just take him out before he becomes more and more of a nuisance. And one attack to be careful of from Jenna is her dash attack that she just lunges at you and takes you out of like your Beast Legion riding, or your like your Shield of Axe and all that. It'd be great. Also, do not be afraid to use your stun grenades if your Howl is on cooldown. Stun grenades is pretty good, and stunning Jenna in general will help you a lot more to cause a lot more damage to the phase and give you a chance to just move on. Speed Star is also pretty incredible to pack on damage and to just, well, bring on the good old heat. The only reason why I keep like riding my Beast Legion, and once Jenna gets close to me, I jump off, is through that dash attack. Where I got burned so many times from doing that I just said, if she's coming close to me, I just hop off the Beast Legion, let her do her attack, and then hop back on to avoid. That round done. The next enemy, and it was serious in the cards, is just 1 infantry. The only reason why I can see 1 infantry for the subsequent boss is to heal. It's one of the few like enemies in general will heal you, and with 1 infantry there, you can just use that to heal you back to full HP before you go into the next subsequent round. It's like a little freebie. The next one here with the 3 serpents are pretty iffy. Ladon, Lamia, and Skyla are all different in their sense, but in general, for like a plan, if you want to deal with one of them like fully, it's gonna be a little hard because the others like to do pot shots towards you, and with the I think it's the Skyla does a lot of ice attacks, and if you're not ready for ice, you're gonna be taken off. Lamia also loves to do a lot of electric attacks, so those are also pretty bad to do. And if you leave the Ladon alone, Ladon combination with Lamia have some homing shots that will hit you from far away, and Lamia's being a way to stun you kind of sucks. So there's like no clear answer on who to prioritize first, especially since all three of them rarely get together sometimes. But taking out one would be great. Ice would be mostly recommended, but if you want to take out Lamia first because of the electricity, that's fine too. But once you take one down, the other two don't get a power up, but become more annoying to deal with, and they'll start digging away more. But nothing much here to say on this on this round, because it's just the three serpents. The only thing I'll say is that I've gotten 2 chain binds accidentally because they rushed towards me and I didn't even have my chain technically near them, but it binded the shit out of them like that. So it just gave me a free chance to just pile on damage, hop on, and just wreak havoc. But in other news for what's been going on while this is here, by the time this video comes up at the end of the week, the new Princess Peach game comes out, and I'm excited to play that. And if anything, just to promote something, is that to any of the people who remembered when I uploaded just one video of Battle in Wonder World, me and my friends did not think we were gonna go back to that game. Not because we wanted to beat the game, but we literally just said that it was just gonna be like a podcast episode. But with that game coming out, I'm probably just gonna sit down in VC again and just do another podcast type episode on Battle in Wonder World, just not even caring about the gameplay. Hopefully the new Peach game is a lot better than Ballad, but that's like a low bar to cross. So if it works, it works. And if the Peach game is actually pretty fun, one day you might see it as an LP. Or not, I don't know. I don't know if that game's gonna get updates for newer game modes like in a year or two. But I'm excited for that game. But with that tangent out of the way, we're done with the whole serpent fight. The next one here is just a bunch of aberrations, which isn't not that bad. They're pretty weak. They're all of different varieties, different people, so it's not a good idea to just use this for your Collectopedia on enemies you're missing. But there's gonna be a lot of aberrations between like Filth Wings, big ones like Glides and Gladiuses, or just small fry that'll show up. Your best bet to just taking them all out is Gravity Storm from your Arm Legion and just doing a spin cycle with your axe, and you'll be fine on that. After the aberration fight is just against Okotos and a Gaijis, and each of them with one type of shell enemy, a Cur and an Axe shell. And this is one of the few I can also see people getting trouble with. The Kotos and Gaijis in general are pretty annoying to deal with, especially since that can happen, where you can cut the line off the Cur, and you just immediately get socked for doing it. Kotos and Gaijis do, like, I would say a lot of damage, but they also are faster than your other like power type enemies, especially since that is going to be a problem for the majority of the time. And if anything, with Kotos being fire and Gaijis being ice, they are going to get their elementals out a lot more than other like enemy types. Your best bet is that once you get all three of them down, so like you open up the axe shell and both of them are coming at you to beat you up, that's your best time to spring a Howl or a Gravity Storm if you want. After that, just try to avoid stuff like their attacks and all that. Having a perfect call with your Axe Legion when you summon it would also be very good. Same thing with parrying. But once one of the beasts goes down, the other one is not that far from it. They're pretty easy pickings. Kotos and Gaijis, if you keep them together for too long and not take out their shield, or you take a long time taking their shield, their own attacks are going to be very devastating, especially if you're trapped in a corner like I was. 55% of the way done, so we're like halfway through. The next one is just a bunch of Bertholds, like 9 Bertholds. And like 9 or 10 Bertholds. And in general, what you're supposed to do is like shoot them with your gun, so which it can easily make them down. But if you run at them with your Beast Legion, the auto dodge will save you, and it will take out the rest of the Bertholds, and you'll get a lot of like limiter for your next Legion attack. The next one here is just the like 5 Hermits, and they're all of like different variety, or like the Hermits in general have like a lot of variety, where they can either be sluggers, burners, slashers, drone makers, or just other stuff like that. So do be mindful of who you fight. There's probably going to be at least one of each, so you can use that as your advantage for collecting them for the Collectopedia, but I wouldn't recommend that either. But not much else to say on that front. With this guy down, we get to go to our next fight, which is Kyle and 2 Pygmalions. This would also be a fight that I can see people having trouble with. Pygmalions are not that bad. They're speedster enemies. They move around. They cause ground waves. The only problem is Kyle again. When we fought Kyle back in the boss round of in like the last boss level for round 3, where he was together with a Hector and an Agamemnon, Kyle played more of a support role for the other two because of his burning, his stun rod, and other shit. This one, he's a mixture of both. For the 2 Pygmalion, he's more of a support unit because of his burner, his attacks, and his stun rod again. But in general, he's more of a threat on this round in combination with the 2 Pygmalions because of his pretty beefy attack, and since the Pygmalions do a lot of running back and forth to find an opportunity to attack you, Kyle just being out there with like 1 sword tap, knocking you pretty decently far down in HP, will make like a 1-2 hit on your HP bar in combination with the Pygmalions, knocking you out. Not in a blink of an eye, but pretty fast, and sometimes unreactable if you don't know what you're doing. Best in this scenario would be, other than patience, your Beast Legion to ride around, find a good spot to put Howl, slow down, hit rush if you want with some other legions, or Gravity Storm, because I think Pygmalions are affected by Grav Storm, and Spin Cycle as well. If you didn't change your Crash Bomb for your Axe Legion, you can also use that to your advantage as well, placing a couple bombs down on the field, especially since Kyle and the Pygmalions love to move a lot, especially Kyle having the tendency to dodge a lot of attacks. So that would be very beneficial to you. But with Kyle being in conjunction with 2 Pygmalions in this round, this is one of the few rounds that you can actually heal during it. The 2 Pygmalions are there to give you like HP back if you knock them down pretty good. So if you've been getting like knocked out more and more and more during the fight, if you knock down the Pygmalions, you can get to them and get your HP back to full. And it's pretty good. So just the whole basis of like the final round of this round is just knock out the 2 Pygmalions, and then after that just pile on the damage in combination with 1 Howl from your Beast Legion, slow shot and hit rush from your Arrow Legion, and then getting a couple spin cycles in with your axe, and you'll be fine with doing the rest of the round. But yeah, no, that's just how the rest of this fight's gonna be. Pretty simple after you get the 2 Pygmalions away. Kyle by himself is not that hard, especially since we fought him, and Howl is ungodly pretty good one. After that fight with Kyle and the 2 Pygmalions, we go back to another infantry. Not that hard, it's just there to give you your HP back if you take out the Pygmalions and you still got your ass handed to you by Kyle. It's there to just refill your HP bar, give you some more limiter for your legions before you go into the next round. 75% on the way, so we only got a quarter left. This next round is against a Hector, I almost said an Artemis, Hestia, and I think it was a Callisto. Don't remember the archer enemies off the top of my head, since they're mostly not a nuisance compared. But in general right now, the only problem would be Hector. Also, if you saw, Hector just walked up to me and almost gave me a bonk on the head. Like when I first did this, or when I did this fight live, I actually did not expect the Hector to show up, which really confused me. But good thing I had the Beast Legion equipped, which gave me the opportunity to just right away. Enemy priority number 1 in this round would be the Hector, because Hector does a lot of damage, especially to your legions, and just taking him out when you have 2 of the archer type enemies will be helpful as well. Next one I think would be Artemis. I think it's the name of the enemy. Next one would be Artemis, because probably during the fight you either take out Hestia by accident, or you already took out Hestia after Hector. The only reason why I say by accident is because during this run, and during what you're seeing, I actually knocked out the Hestia in total conjunction just with Hector. Just trying to hit Hector with a spin cycle, put a bomb, or did enough damage on the Hestia that she just died. But same rules apply. Artemis is down. Not that bad of a round, but do be careful that if Hector is still alive when you're fighting the archetype enemies, that you're going to be in for a world of hurt. This next round is just a bunch of lower ranked enemies. So you get one of like different types, so like toads, frogs, fire frogs, ice frogs, a cur, a fire mutt, a normal mutt, a hawk, a fire hawk, all that in the claw. Basically a lot of like lower ranked enemies there to just pot shot you, but mostly in conjunction to just give you HP back. Not that hard. If you seriously just take out the go for the cur immediately and do the sync attack with your sword legion, the little spinny does will take out like 2 or 3 enemies without you noticing. So pretty simple to grab. Next round is the second to last round. This one's up against an RK and 3 fireballs. And I can see this round being annoying to some people as well. RK being an ice power type or an ice arm type enemy is really annoying. Ice just sucks in general. And since he's an arm type chimera, he's gonna be sporadic, he's gonna be hard hitting, and unpredictable would be the best word to describe him. But in combination of RK with fireball is a recipe for disaster. The reason why I say that is because the whole point of the fireball is that you want to take out the fireballs easy, simple, and fast. Later on through the fight, the fireballs will just go to a point where they grow so big where they'll just go towards you and kamikaze. And if they do kamikaze on you, they'll do almost your full HP bar, or at your full HP bar, and just knock you out. So your best bet is to just take out the fireballs first with either a conjunction after a howl on the RK to give you some time and some breathing room, or during a blue shield with them. Either way, it's very beneficial to just minimize your damage from the RK as much as you can, because once the RK freezes you, it's game over at that point. So now with the RK all by himself, we just get to do the fun stuff of just comboing him to hell with howls, slow shots, and spin cycles. And one other thing I've been using a lot, especially with like these type of enemies, is the mid-air attack, where you just call your legion up in the air. it's pretty good attacking, and for some smaller enemies, it knocks them down on the floor, which you can do a lot more chaotic stuff with. But with Arcade down, we are on the final round for this W case. 2 Agamemnons. And that is it. 2 Agamemnons. Agamemnon. Gee, that's hard to say. Your best friend in this fight is just patience and your Beast Legion. Don't brute force it. Learn to go in, learn to go out. Make your attacks count. But once you get like a blue shield in, you can sort of take a small risk and just prioritize damage more and more. Especially if you have your Axe Legion with a bit of slow attack for each spin cycle. But once you see that both are ready to attack and both are on you, hop back on your Beast Legion, be a little patient, and time your strikes. You can do pot shots with your Beast Legion to just stun them. Also, doing slow shots will cancel attacks the Agamemnons do. So either dash attacks, either dash attacks, homing shot, or hellfire. I was gonna say Hellzone grenade. Or ground shocks will be stopped immediately by the slow shot, and they'll be forced to do another attack. Halfway through their HP though, that Agamemnon will just do a giant slam into the ground, which will cause a shockwave around them, and it does tremendous damage. So if you're not on your Beast Legion when you ride it, or you're not far away from it, you're gonna be in a world of hurt. Once you see a good chance to just sit down with one howl and just stock up on your buffs, stock up on blue shield, and just go to town with Speedstar. I also wouldn't recommend using Fusion Master. Fusion Master or Fused Legion might not be a bad idea on the Agamemnon fight, but with how much damage they do, the amount of attacks they do as well, it might be a recipe for just taking your HP very low. Also, you guys, you see that I was at like one just normal hit from the Agamemnon, took out like 400 HP from my health bar. So just, like, if they randomly hit you, they will also do a lot of damage. So do be mindful of that fact. But not much else to say on this front other than just the strategy of just being patient. If you have gone through the entirety of Astral Chain and not learned that patience is a virtue, especially with hard-hitting enemies, you have not played a Platinum game well. And as you saw, that ground wave does godly damage. It took me to 800, and then one pot shot put me down to 500. But one down, we only got another one down, another one left to go at half HP. It's all about just reading his attacks, waiting for him to just get into cooldown so we can just pile on the damage. But I'll say one thing about the next case though. It is the final case. It is one of the hardest cases in the game. And if you thought the previous cases were getting hard, this one just takes the cake for being the hardest case in File 12 and probably in all of Astral Chain. But it's designed to be the final one. We're at 70 out of 71 cases completed. And I know for me, when I have to sit down and record this episode, I'm expecting like a lot of time to boom. Woo. And that was my live reaction to just beating this. 23 minutes on the clock for this case. Pretty hard, but pretty lively. So with that, we are done with today's case for the video. But let's just say I don't immediately go to the computer to end off the episode. This is the first time we've been using our new color and our new setup. So, if anything, just for sincerity, what I did was that I went back to the locker and just went back to our normal attire. Why not beat the game in the attire that we're known for, the ARC suit? So I literally just changed the color of the police suit back to the police colors and put it back to when we first joined Neuron. It's a final thing to say and a final thing to wear for our final case. Pretty symbolic, but pretty funny that I actually did not intentionally plan to have the final color just be our color. So basically everything that I have in equipment wise is going to be taken out except for the one of the Neuron. So we go back to our normal chest plate for our armor, the utility, the necktie goes back on. Out we have no hat. I took out the glasses, I took out the mask, and that should be all of it back to normal. So next time when we meet again for Astral Chain, we're going to be going through the final case of Astral Chain, and I actually do show it. So tune with us again.
Another job well done.
Let's just say our final case is a big mystery even to ourselves. So hope you all have enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy the final video when it comes out. The Legionist license to the computer.